as a private equity guy, what mistakes does a small entrepreneur make that you're not interested in letting them, working with them?
No matter what business they're in, number one is the people, the founder. It could be the CEO, it could be the leader, but his leadership team, her leadership team, no matter what type of business it is, number one, we're looking at management. And,
Amen.
I've been studying.
Vic, the rule of thumb is money follows management.
Yeah. It totally, and you teach that often, and I can tell you, I've been studying business since I was a young man, and whether it be the most sophisticated, successful investors in the world like Warren Buffett, or it be someone that has a small business, it always comes back to the people. And I had a business partner. It wasn't Mr. Buffett, but a business partner that was a multi-billionaire. And all he ever said is, Vic, don't ever forget the three most important things you're ever going to have in business. And it's people, people, people. And so I would say, whether you're in startup mode, whether you're dealing with this economy right now, there is nothing more important than making sure you have the very, very best people in the marketplace. And as you mentioned before we went on break, there's a lot of big companies right now, specifically technology companies, that are releasing just hundreds of thousands of extraordinarily experienced, capable, young, energetic, passionate people into the workforce. And I can tell you, I hope they all find my name and phone number and email address, because I have never in my life had a greater need and greater opportunities for extraordinary people. So if you're building a business today, just rule number one, job number one is surround yourself with people that are tenacious, that are ferocious learners, that understand what's going on in the economy. That is what's going to build your business. You may have invented the greatest thing ever known, but there's nothing that's going to allow your business to scale and survive greater than having extraordinary talent around you. And it's hard to get that right all the time, right? I mean, it's a tough, it's the hardest job in business is people, but it's also the biggest opportunity.
I can hear people say, well, I don't have the money to hire them. Well, that's called a partner. Do you know
Exactly.
what I mean? You want to find the right partner. I've always acknowledged my wife, Kim. Man, without her, I'd never make it. But we're in the same boat, paddling just as hard. 2 oars are better than one. And
always
it starts with the partner. If you're small with no capital, we started with nothing, and we just kept building it day by day by day. And, I don't know how you feel about it, but many times I'll meet an entrepreneur, and let's say it's a male entrepreneur, and his wife is not into the business. They suffer. I've noticed that you suffer because your wife would rather, whatever the thing is, she sits at home and they fight about this. I'm going, whew. But that's where it starts, in my opinion. If your husband or wife is not on the same boat with you, man, it's
Robert, I've been married for 27 years, and I've been an entrepreneur for 25 of those. And my wife and I talk about my business literally every night at dinner, right? I mean, she's by the way, she's gotten pretty dang opinionated and educated over the past few years. And so I guess I'm guilty of that, but she is absolutely a valuable resource. I agree. Partnership. And you hit on such an important point. The partnership mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. I find so many people that want to be in business and they say, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur. And that's fine. If they want to say they are, they aren't. But the reality of it is, if you have a partnership mindset, I had a business partner for years based right there where you are in Phoenix, Arizona, and he hired the most capable leaders across the country to run his retail organization. And every single one of them was a partner. Every one of them had a piece of equity. Every one of them felt ownership. And by the way, he didn't have to pay them more because of that. The businesses earned more and they were more successful, and they got to share in the profitability of the business. So he was never giving anything up. He was getting their heart. He was getting their family. He was getting their mind, and that allowed everybody to win. So if you can have a partnership mindset, I can tell you, I mean, my base salary, early on in my career was very, very low, but I had someone that had a partnership mindset, and it allowed me to become ultimately wealthy. So it's super important. If you want to get 110% of someone, treat them as a partner, treat them as an entrepreneur. Don't treat them as an employee.
Yeah. And I went to military school and I had 6 years U.S. Marine Corps. And the first words we're taught in both the military academy. This is Rungknocker, academy graduate. First thing we're taught is the word mission. I joined the Marine Corps. The word is mission. And so when I find somebody who cannot sell their mission, then you have an employee, if you know what I mean. They're just there for the money. And then, so like at the Rich Dad Company, I mean, they're immersed, they're dunked and boiled in the mission, because our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity, and that's spiritual. So I don't go, it's not religious, but it's important to have the mission side of the business sold and make sure people buy into the mission. And every time I've had problems is when I had CEOs or presidents who were just there for the money. There's a difference between money and mission. Very, very big difference. Any comments on that?
Well, I think the biggest problem where that all starts is people don't have a clearly defined common mission. So yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if you're not missionally focused and you're just tactically focused and you're trying to just get something done, but there's not a greater mission. I believe in, journey descriptions, not job descriptions, right? What's the journey going to be? What's the journey of the mission? What are you trying to accomplish? So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, but companies miss that. They confuse a mission statement for an actual mission. And let me tell you, when you were in the military going on a mission, it sure to heck wasn't about a mission statement. It was about the mission you were going on, which has got a lot of elements to it. And most companies, they're saying, hey, we're going to try to come up with a mission statement. Well, throw it out the door. I mean, that's not what it's about. It's about what is the common mission.
Yep, exactly. That reminds me of that George Patton movie and all that. This one guy is in the hospital bed and he's dying, and all. He said he wasn't dying. He was cell shocked, and he says, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And George Patton walks up to him and says, "Your job is not to die for your country. Your job is to make sure the bastard dies for his country." I mean,
so true.
You can't say that on television today anymore. You're so mean and cruel. But,
that's real.
And then other thing is legal, ethical, moral. If somebody's unethical, immoral, or illegal, they're gone. And that comes from our code of honor and things like this, which is also spiritual. The Marine Corps had a very tight code. It starts with 2 words: semper fi. Don't leave anybody and you're always faithful forever. But those are all spiritual words. And when I went into the MBA program, I left. It was all about tactical, mental strategy. It wasn't really about like the Marine Corps, where we're clear on our mission first. We sell the mission all the way through. But when I hired these CEOs and presidents, they ultimately had to be fired. And because if you're not mission-driven, you're also then not legal, ethical, moral. It's really surprising how many people lie, cheat, and steal.
Yeah, I mean, people are desperate. I hope it's not everyone. Sometimes it feels like people operate from a state of just fear and anxiety and are desperate. And, I can tell you in business, I try to position things where we can operate from a mindset of adrenaline. We want to be excited. We want to be motivated. Right. We want to be encouraging. And, when people get desperate, they do really dumb things. And we're seeing that more, quite candidly, all over the world and certainly in the country I live in. We're seeing it more than we've ever seen it before. And it's just sad, Robert.
Well, it starts with leadership too. You know what I mean? From the top down. And then,
starts at home.
Yeah. What Jordan Peterson says, you think tough men are mean or something. Look at the damage a weak leader will do.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I'm not political, but I've never seen a weaker leader than Biden. I've never seen a weaker leader.
I couldn't agree with you more.
It's sad. Really, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about leadership, aren't we?
100%. That's the mission of building anything starts with leadership, and it's got to be clearly defined. It's collaboration's great. Having a great team in place is great, but I've never in my life found anyone that wanted to win that didn't want to win for and with a great leader. And even as an entrepreneur, I always think about, who am I winning for? And fortunately, I kind of flip the roles and I let my people have that in my mind. They're the leaders, right? I want to win for them, and they expect me to do my part. So leadership is something that it seems is going away. People are scared to lead, and we need leadership right now globally more than we ever have before. And there's going to be a fantastic opportunity for young up and coming professionals to really focus on what the identity and the meaning and the definition of leadership is, and live and act it out.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please watch this next one. I think you're going to love it.